Hello, my name is Anna Gomez, and today I will be talking to you about the Anticipation Guide strategy. I have chosen grade 1 and social studies as my content area. The text I will be using today is titled Martin's Big Words, The Life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by Doreen Rappaport. Now, an anticipation guide is a pre-reading strategy that can be used across any grade level and any content area. Anticipation guides pick students' interest in what they are about to read, and it also sets a purpose for the reading. It can be used by an individual student, small group, or by the whole class. Anticipation guides work by asking the students to respond to a set of statements that the teacher has chosen ahead of time. Now, the teacher should read the text first, gather some facts, and change them up a little. Make some of them false. Just tweak them up a little. Teachers should design these statements by activating students' prior knowledge and having the students write predictions about what they are going to read. For example, if I were using this in my first grade classroom, I would model the strategy first with maybe one or two statements, and then I would read them out loud as a class since it is first grade. But upper grades, they can read it. You can have them read it themselves or work in groups. It's up to the teacher. I would start by sharing with the students that we are going to read this book titled Martin's Big Words by Doreen Rappaport, and that I'm also going to share a strategy called Anticipation Guide. Now, we have to explain to the students what to anticipate means. So I would tell them that to anticipate is to think of something that might happen. So when we are anticipating this book, we are thinking about what might happen in this book. Now you would grab your the actual anticipation guide document, and let me explain to you a little bit about this. It has two columns. It has a before reading column, and it has an after reading column. Each one of these say, yes, I agree, or no, I disagree. So students are to check off whether they agree or disagree with each statement. Now, like I said, for a first grade class, I would read the statements out loud. And if there is any vocabulary words or any unfamiliar words to the students, this is a time where we would discuss the meaning of the words in order for them to completely understand what the statement is asking or what it is saying. Then you have to do this before you read the text. So, for example, with the first one, the man on the front cover is sad. If I were modeling, I would grab the book and ask the students to look at the front cover. Look at the man on the front cover. Ask them, what is the man doing? He's smiling. So what do you typically do when you smile? Or what are you feeling? And they would say happy. Therefore, our statement, the man on the front cover is sad, is false. So I would check off, no, I disagree. And you would have students do the same thing. Now we could go to the second one. Segregation means that black and whites have to stay separate. Well, a lot of the students might not know what segregation is. This is where you would tell them. Or you could choose not to tell them and let them find out through the reading. And you would read all of these aloud to your students, have them check off whether they agree or disagree. Now you can go to the actual reading of the book. And so you would start your reading. Everywhere in Martin's hometown, he saw the signs, white only. His mother said these signs were in all southern cities and towns in the United States. Every time Martin read the words, he felt bad, until he remembered what his mother told him. You are as good as anyone. Now you would continue reading the book, and you would focus more on the statements that you put on the anticipation guide and allow for discussion. It is really good when the students can start a discussion. For example, one of our statements says, Martin Luther King Jr. is still alive. Well, in our reading, it says he died. Therefore, we would talk a little bit about this and how he died. And this will allow them to go back to their anticipation guide after the reading and correct their answer if they thought he was still alive. After you have finished the reading, you want to let the students go back over the anticipation guide. Like I said, in a first grade class, you might want to go back over it as a class. One of the strengths about this strategy is that it can be used in all content areas. I have included a math anticipation guide as part of my Word document. You don't necessarily have to have a text or a book for the anticipation guide. You can choose a unit or pretty much any topic you're covering in the content area, and have an anticipation guide so that students will be motivated. This is a pre-reading strategy, but you will find yourself referring to the statements on the anticipation guide during and after the reading also. One of the weaknesses of the anticipation guide is that the questions must be well thought of, and this requires time, which some teachers don't have. You want to ask questions, or you want to have statements that will give students and yourself something to talk about. You want to spark a doubt in the student's mind. That's how you're going to get them motivated. That's how they're going to want to know what the right answer is. That is it. Thank you.